Houston Rockets sitting at 4-6. They lost to the Oklahoma City Thunder last night, 98-80. I think teams are starting to figure the Rockets out, and it's kind of sad because they had that nice run last year. Last year was definitely their chance to win the finals. I think that after that chance, the psychological damage of blowing, basically having a 3-2 lead and going back home and 3-2 lead, could have closed them out in Golden State, and then you go home game 7, you lose game 7. I think psychologically that really messed them up. Then you look at their defense. Their defense is porous, and it hasn't really been great this season. But last season they had that coach, they had Trevor Ariza, they had Mahabute. They lost those, throw through 3 of those pieces, lose the coach, lose the 2 players. Everybody's like, it's okay, you plug and play. Their offense is gonna spur their defense because guys are gonna keep shooting. They're gonna want to defend, and look what's happening. You're getting beat by OKC, a team that doesn't have Russell Westbrook, a team that is not known really for a high field goal percentage, and they're blowing you up by 18. But what's really shocking about the entire ordeal is the Houston Rockets, their offense is deplorable. It's awful. They shot 26% from 3, 11 for 42 for 3 for the entire team. They shot 37% from the field. And it's just not going to cut it. You're not going to beat anybody playing like that. I understand that you just feel like the 2-guard system and 13 seconds or less, that's going to be great, and you're going to want to get up and down the field, up and down the court. But teams are going to figure that out. They're going to know how to bottle that up. They're going to, defensively, they're going to do the proper switches. They're going to make you take tough shots. And those step-back threes, they look good when they're going in, but boy, when they're not, it's awful. James Harden, he was like 19 points. He shot 4 from 12 from the 3. It's not good. CP3 didn't make any threes last night. He had 10 points. Melo, 1 for 11, 2 points. So they basically locked him up. Or we could say it's more like a war of attrition, too. James Harden is coming back from injury. Then you're trying to jack up a lot of threes and run fast, but now you're getting out-muscled and out-physical. You're a year older. So how long can you keep up that pace? It reminds me sort of like the Sacramento Kings. It was like early 2000s. Just before they were, that's the team that, I think Vladimir Dessources tipped out the ball to the Lakers and Robert Horry hits the big shot. I think that's the team. That team had one of the fastest paces during that time period. They were running up and down the court, running up and down the court, running up and down the court. Shot goes in, they're running up and down the court. They get to the playoffs, and it's just like damn near mud. Like they had 20-point leads and stuff like that, but they couldn't sustain it because that style of basketball is hard to sustain. You have a 20-point lead, then you blow it. So that being said, with the Houston Rockets, they're not really getting any leads. They're not really gelling how they're supposed to be. And people could try to blame it on Melo. He did shoot 1 for 11, but if your star players are going 7 for 19 and 4 for 11, Chris Paul 4 for 11, James Harden 7 for 19, they're combined 4 for 16 from 3. That's 25% from 3. Like what do you think is gonna happen? The guys that are getting the majority of the shots, they're not playing well. So what do you think is gonna happen? You're gonna lose the game. I think D'Antoni's gonna have to slow it down, and I think he's gonna have to sit down and really get to the crux of the defense. It's not to say that teams are really out shooting them, but in times where you're not clicking offensively, you need that defense to serve as an anchor for you to win games. Certain games, you don't need to score 100 some points. You could just let your defense do the talking. Like, basically last night, OKC sitting at 7-4, they let their defense do the talking. It's not like necessarily anybody had like a huge game, anything that's crazy. Paul George had 20 points. Steven Adams had 19, but it was balanced, and then they let their defense do the talking. They shut you down. They only scored 98 points. On average, teams in the NBA, what are they scoring? Like 120, 115? Like, it's ridiculous. So, Houston Rockets, and Mike D'Antoni said this, their offense is anemic. So until the offense starts clicking again, they need to hunker down on that defense. They need to hunker down on defense, and teams are figuring them out. They're switching everything on them, and they're making Chris Paul and James Harden work. Now, if it was like a 7-game series, rest was equal, maybe you could get away with some of that stuff. But through the regular season, you're going to struggle playing like this due to the simple fact that you have back-to-backs. These guys are 1 year older. You want them to run up and down, and they're taking everything is tough. They're not getting easy baskets. Shooting 37% from the field, you're not getting easy baskets. That being said, D'Antoni's gonna have to switch something up. Somebody's gonna have to come off the bench or a defense. Something's gonna have to get switched up because this is not working. You cannot lose to the Oklahoma City Thunder, and you're at full strength and they're not. Brody wasn't even there, so imagine Westbrook was there. You'd be losing by 20 or 30. Hoops Junction. Hoops, me too. Like, comment, and subscribe.